Steven, you're having to rebuild this team now. I know it's probably not the right time to talk about it, but you've already started on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how that's going? Are you going to be able to put a roster together next year that's going to be able to
Yeah,
compete
that's a good
again?
question. The part that's it's just really unfortunate is, we're getting penalized for winning because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're way behind in the portal right now. But that's obviously we wouldn't trade being here, so we can go out there and recruit like the teams that we sent home last week or the week before. But I think there's got to be some sort of change to how this is done because teams that are, our situation is way different. So we're losing 10 guys, so it's like we got to replace an entire team. And teams that are able to advance this tournament and have to have complete roster rebuilds like we do are going to be really, really impacted. So obviously, we got to get back to work tonight as soon as we get back to the hotel and try and set up visits for next week and next weekend. But we're at a bit of a disadvantage considering how many bodies we have to replace for next year.
I got 5 years of Chris and Dylan, something that feels like it's just becoming more and rare.
Yeah.
What can you say about the impact they both had on y'all's program?
No, they obviously changed the trajectory of this program. It had kind of gotten started the 2 years prior to them, but for them to come in and continue momentum and then obviously continue to take this team to new heights. It is, they won 3 SEC championships. They went to a Final Four. Dylan's the winningest player in Auburn basketball history. Those guys just, like you said, there's no one like that anymore. You're not going to see kids that stick for 5 years. And, we repeatedly brought in players that would compete with them, and they didn't quit. And that is, the definition of an Auburn man. And I think they both wear that very proudly on their sleeve. And, I just thank both of them for, trusting us and sticking with us and obviously being a part of one of the greatest stretches in this program's history. So 2 guys that will forever have left their impact on this program, on this university, and obviously I'm incredibly grateful to them and their families that we were able to coach them.
Just the season as a whole and what these guys put together, just what does it do for you guys as a program moving forward?
Yeah, we've been doing this for the past, I think, 8 years. So the challenge now is having to replace that many guys. But obviously we have some momentum and we have a reputation of being one of the best programs in college basketball. So we've got to use that to our advantage as best we can. But no, we got a challenge in a couple weeks coming up to try and obviously get this thing back to what we're used to.